With Black Ops 7 being around the corner and all of the true people who are hyped for the game talking about it, and with it being a supposed sequel to Black Ops 2, I wanted to take some time out before the game comes out to talk about what I think, in my own personal opinion, is the best ever Call of Duty story that has ever been told. So join me as today I want to talk about Black Ops 2's story and why it was so good and fun to play, and why I don't think that Black Ops 7 can even come close to touching the amazing storytelling of Black Ops 2. So be sure to like the video, subscribe if you're new, and let's get into it. So whenever anyone talks or mentions anything about Call of Duty campaigns, they always talk about Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1 and World at War. And while I do enjoy and love those games to death as well, I often feel like even now with how loved Black Ops 2 is, it still feels a tiny bit overlooked. So I want to shine some light on that ubiquitous darkness. So starting off, let me say something crazy. I feel like Black Ops 2 really nailed it with how they used the two timelines to tell the story of the game, so much so that it put it up there with Titanfall 2 and all the other games that did something like this, using time to tell stories and things like that. That constant shift of being Woods and Mason playing through their memories and even getting to make decisions that impact endings was actually an amazing touch added, and then the going back to playing as David, going towards for information and then playing in the modern day of this year 2025, and also the little bits where you play as Raul. I feel like it all fits together so nicely to complement each of them and the actions they choose, which led them to this and the conflicts. It gave the game a lot of depth and contrast, seeing how the past shaped the future for David and the state that the world in the game gets to. How emotional the characters are, filled with regret or anger or sadness for what happened, really just making the story hit much more deeper. And this jumping through time and the memories also gave the campaign sort of a rhythm that really lets you, or someone like me who gets very sucked into campaigns, you just keep playing and enjoying the game. It feels like it flows very nicely with each chapter going into the next and seeing the consequences of the past. And moving on, obviously we can't talk about Black Ops 2 without talking about Menendez. I mean, come on, he's the perfect antagonist in almost every way you can think of. The acting and passion that Cama de los Reyes put into this just really elevated all those qualities a lot more. He was a fully motivated and purely filled with anger, where you understand the pain that he experienced that caused him to go down this path of revenge. Feels like one of the most human manifestation of angers, grief, and callous planning in any Call of Duty game that I've ever played. We're allowed to see him as both a monster for all the horrible things he does to us, but we also see him as the villain for all the horrible things that we've done to him, that has happened to him, that has caused him to become the way he is and seek revenge to this extent. And unlike the other well-known villains like Zakhaev and Makarov, Menendez talks to us, the players. He makes us see the world through his view, blames us for causing his sister's death and the government system from the West that got him involved in this in the first place, and he's not entirely wrong. There's a reason why the game feels so much more relevant today and almost like a prediction for this year. I mean, look at all the Gen Z protests that have been happening everywhere. And this is exactly the type of writing that the guys over at Treyarch and Infinity Ward either forgot or threw away for no reason at all. Menendez is a complex, charismatic and very tragic character that we just remember. We just keep in the back of our mind, keep quoting what he says, and in some part of me, I feel like some of the things he said and did was very justified and very relatable to things that I would do right now to make the world better. Black Ops 2 is also very well known for the different amount of endings that the game had. It was the first Call of Duty in the series to actually make our choices matter and not just let us march forward through the campaign without thinking. And what I really liked was that not all the choices were obvious, like the sort of stop and press a button telltale choice making, but like the shooting of Menendez is in the leg or head when Noriega brings him out, or also in Section's case case, with Menendez's right-hand man escaping, you can let him go or shoot him at the start and kill him, which gave players multiple endings that had us shook as to why they happened and not really knowing how we even got these endings. Like, we go over to our friend's house, ask them, did you finish Black Ops 2? Like, what happened in your game? And then he shows us his ending while ours is different. It was just very unique for the COD series at the time. Whoever lived or died was all dependent on the actions you made, whether you knew it or not. And I really appreciate that about this game. It sort of shows off our butterfly effect of what we choose to do, and I don't entirely believe that was intentional, but just makes us kind of think more strategically about the characters who can impact the stories and how to actually take on situations. This also added a lot of replayability to the campaign that little CODs had, unless the story is really good and you just want to experience it again. It lets us find the different choices and endings and explore the campaign missions more to see if we could find anything extra, which I always appreciate from games. Another key thing that Black Ops 2 really excelled at was the character development of Alex, Mason, Woods, Hudson, and Section, and all the characters we actually see. Well, all the stuff they did and went through in Black Ops 1 haunts them and really sticks to them and helps expand on the stuff that they do in this game, and how Woods just carries all the stuff that he did in the past and how he really regrets it. Like, you can really see the arc that he took from the past in this game and what he did all the way till the modern day of the game, where we go to him, we ask him for intel, how to take down situations about Raul Menendez, and you can just see the sorrow, the sadness, and the regrets filled in this old man and how he wishes he could have gone back and changes things. And then further on, encountering a thread that really just pushes them all the way, with Alex, Mason, Woods, and David going through and suffering through all the terrible things that Menendez does to them through the story, in the past and in the present. And then this Section, who continues the story and the legacy of his father's war that still continues to not just impact him but the whole world now. He serves as a sort of generational bridge where he experienced some of the stuff that happened to him in the past when he was younger, but doesn't really remember all of it, so he needs to go to fill in the gaps and get advice on how to end this once and for all, paying for the sins of his fathers, really the sins of Woods, while also trying to save the world and stop an attack that could destabilize the US entirely and just bring the world to a breaking point. And building on the character development, even side characters like Harper, Salazar had moments which made them so memorable and hard to forget. Where now in today's COD, characters barely feel like anything. It feels like there's no emotional impact anymore in anyone dying in these new COD games. They don't get the same respect that they had before. And now I want to talk about one of my actual favorite parts of this game and campaign for me, and that's the music and the soundtrack, which just really, I feel it really just ties everything together and amplifies the story tenfold to just heighten each moment of the game and make it feel that much more epic. Composed by Jack Will and with contributions from Trent Reznor, the soundtrack really added to giving the game a cinematic weight that other Call of Duties before didn't really have, and made it feel like more of an actual produced film than the other games, with the dialogue, pacing, lighting, and emotional beats of the music all syncing up to give the scenes that much more life and amp up the stakes at hand of the story. It truly felt special. The atmosphere of the game and every mission which felt so good and nice to look at and fight through, with the missions in the past and present allowing each of their respective time they're set in to flow freely and just lean into that theme and that timeline that it's happening in, and just completely take the tone of that timeline. The tone remains serious, but it's balanced with energy and emotional stakes that just draw you into the campaign and story even more. And the game isn't scared to slow down and just let us feel the story and take in everything that's happening all around us. And that's something that's rarely happening in today's games, where it feels so fast and rapid, where everything is just go 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 and feels empty as hell. And to be honest, I think that this game and even just this whole year was caught at its absolute creative best, with the storytelling, the tone, the gameplay, the soundtrack, and just making memorable games and moments for people that were buying these games and experiencing them in real time. That really defined the series and this game specifically, which was supposed to define the next era of COD with the futuristic stuff, but it just didn't happen. It just didn't work out with the future CODs that came out after this. Back when the games weren't just building hype for the multiplayer, but actually getting us interested in the world of the game and the story and making us stay for something more than just going online and playing TEM or something and grinding for skins. So what happened after that? Well, after this game, we got Modern Warfare 3, Ghosts, Advanced Warfare, and Black Ops 3, which I think were okay and decent, with Modern Warfare 3 being better and more enjoyable than the other ones, but not to the same level as Black Ops 2 and the previous Modern Warfares and the games that came before. But after these campaigns started becoming shorter, more generic, and boring to play, where the devs leaned more on banking on our nostalgia for previous games to sell and put out life games with barely any soul left. Or I felt like in the new CODs, your intelligence wasn't really considered or trusted. You just follow the story, shoot the bad guys, put the control down for cutscenes, then keep going on. Follow the story the devs want you to see instead of having a bit of freedom to make choices and change outcomes. But yeah, that's all I got to say for today. So if you did enjoy the video, be sure to like and subscribe to be first to new videos. I'm trying to get to 500 subs by January, so if you wanna help out, subscribe and grow with us. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. So bye.